In this tutorial, I'll show you how you can instantly loosen up your line work, and then I'll be using those techniques to sketch this garden gazebo. So here are 3 tips to help you loosen up your line work. And these are taken from my beginner's urban sketching course over on my Patreon membership if you're interested. So tip number 1 is to change your grip. So we're going to move our fingers from the front of the pen to the middle or the back of the pen. So somewhere from the middle to the back, and that'll help loosen up your line works straight away. And then we're going to lock our wrist. So I'll pull down my sleeve there. We're not going to be sketching lines with our wrist. We're going to lock our wrist and move your elbow. So move your whole arm, but lock your wrist there. And then the 3rd tip is I recommend doing warm-up exercises before you sketch. So let's try a few here. So grab yourself a scrap piece of paper. So this is an old piece that I've already done some work on the other side. And then make sure you have your grip, your wrist locked, and we're going to be doing these warm-up exercises. So firstly, let's sketch a circle. So very loosely around, doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but see how I'm letting it wobble around the page? There, if you go around a few times. Now the next one is more straight line, so let's do a square. So let's go across, down, and then across again, and up, all in one line. So I don't want to see anyone holding the pen down and trying to get a perfect circle like this, or a square in the same way. Let's hold our pen back. It's a good warm-up, so you can do this before any sketch. And next we'll do an expressive shape, just like one of the bushes or the trees in this tutorial that we're going to do. So it's like a mini cloud where we're silhouetting the leaves, but it's very random. So that's why holding your pen so far back and doing it quickly in one line helps. So I'm going around an imaginary shrub, and see how I'm sort of locking my wrist but making sure the pen moves really freely. So try that a few times. We're going to be using that today. So that's a warm-up exercise. Now I'm going to use those 3 tips in this tutorial, so it's really good practice. But also stay for the watercolor, because I've got some techniques to help with all these greens to try and make this scene make sense and give it some depth. So I'm thinking about those blue lines. That's halfway and halfway. And we're going up from halfway and putting a dot on the left there. The next dot is to the right of that. Now to get that point, the height is about 1/3 of the width. 1/3, and there we go, we've got the top and the width. Now let's outline that shape. This is our first shape where we can use that loose line technique. Holding my pen, locking my wrist, and then back on the line like that. Let's do a 3rd one. From the outside. Little kink on the top there. Then if we go down here, we come in just from the right, little dot there. Now that height there is about the same. Now let's draw a straight line down this way. So from there, halfway down to there. Then the second one comes a little bit of the left to the middle, down there. Down, one in the middle there, and one on the end. So some rough dots to help us with this timber work. So we have these angle brackets, and they go down. Now come in again. These lines aren't so loose compared to the foliage that we're going to do. But only a little bit across, because we've got foliage cutting through there. So just above this line here, come in, and that's that back edge there, and then we come down here. We're going to do a shrub here. So I'm holding my pen in the middle, and I'm locking my wrist, and we're going to do these lines very freely. Now let's just outline that with very random lines. I'm imagining the little shapes of the leaves. That's our first one, about there. So I don't have to press too hard or hold the pen very tightly. So all in one line. Then I could just fit this one in. These are longer, more narrow leaves there. And starts to cut through these lines. So I'm trying to get those lines so that they're cutting there where they stopped. Now I'm ignoring the flowers. Jetty, so make sure you got a nice angle there. I'm still keeping my pen very loose, and as I'm sketching these one lines, I'm glancing up at the reference and some of the overhanging grass. A line there, skinny little grasses there. Starting on the left, in and out, but I've got to see where it goes to, about just above the window here, and then back, and then out, and then back, tree on the side. Now you can even hold it right back on the lid if you like, right back on the end of the pen, and that gives you even less control. Like that, makes it really loose. Now that's all the main shapes. I'm just going to go through and add some detail where I need it. I want the eye to focus around here, so that's where I'm going to add the detail. Add a few of these. And if you notice, there's a chair there, so I'm doing a rectangle at an angle. So there's a bit more detail in the gazebo. Very happy with that. So that's all line work. I hope you enjoyed using your pen more loosely with that. Now I'm going to show you how to do watercolor. And I have my round tan brush and an extra palette in the foreground, make it a darker value. And then as we go around to the background, around here, I'm going to make it a lot lighter. So that'll help give a bit of depth. Also warm and cool colors. If you add warm colors at the front and cooler colors at the back in the distance, that also helps with depth. Okay, so we're going to start with the sky. So I'm using cerulean blue, and then across the top of the sky, let's add a little bit of yellow ochre going up. So those two connecting, and hopefully they'll blend out. The roof we'll start with a bit of Payne's grey, and then we'll mix a warmer colour, so like burnt umber. Okay, we're coming down. Now I would really like those flowers to stand out, and start with cadmium red or a warm red that you have, but I'm just going to add them in very loosely. Little dots, there's red dots everywhere. And now I'm using Doxidine purple. There we go, quite far out here. There's actually even some back here. Go down to the wharf here. I've still got that Payne's grey. Slap a little bit in there. Let's let that dry. We're going to start on the left here, make our way across. Sap green. I want to actually continue on to the next shrub. So we're continuing there. And then as we're going across, we add some viridian green. So this is a combination of sap green and viridian green. And we can add a little bit of turquoise or a blue. So you could add ultramarine blue as well. Has a blue in it. So that's sort of where the light is hitting that top of that shrub. Viridian green here. And I'm just going to add some splashes through there. So this is a bit lighter than here because we don't want to draw our eye away from this section. Darker viridian green, but this is very light around these flowers at the bottom. There, so see these plants here, I'm going to make them a bit of a darker colour. Now we're hinting at those flowers in the foreground. So get the sap green there, and then get in some Payne's grey, and that'll desaturate the colour. Slapping it down here. Grab the viridian green, Payne's grey. We're trying to use the tip and leave some white space. See how much white there is there? There, that cooler light. Some burnt sienna, timber frame. I'm actually going to let that dry. Now for the shadows, I'm going to use just ultramarine today, plain ultramarine. Supports some there, even behind this plant. There, like that. Some final darker dots. We want to concentrate the detail around here again. Little stroke, some darker contrast dots, and just tap with that paint. So my Uniball Signo pen, Uniball Signo pen, and I'll have some nice streaky lines through here. So just a few, and then on the edge. Might catch some light on the little sticks. So there's my final result. Hope you enjoyed the process and you learned how to improve your loose line work, as well as the interesting greenery here from the the background to the foreground with depth. If you want the full version without all the cuts, I'm going to put that over on my Patreon membership, and you can also download the high-res reference there. Plus I've got my full library of tutorials there and my beginner's course, which has more projects and exercises for learning how to do loose line work, as well as how to use a brush and watercolor as well. So great start for watercolor. You learn buildings, people and objects as part of that course. And there's a wonderful community where you can post your sketches and ask me any questions. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.